Hi, today we are going to show you how to make chicken and dumplings. I've already started my chicken. It has been cooking for about 2 hours on the stove. You want to use 3 celery stalks chopped, 3 whole carrots chopped. You want to use 5 chicken bouillon cubes, enough water in your pan to kind of cover the chicken, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of seasoning salt. That is optional. So like I said, it has been cooking for a little over 2 hours. We're getting ready to pull it off the stove and go ahead and start shredding our chicken. Now you don't have to use boneless, skinless chicken breasts like I did. I used 5 of them, or the family pack. You can also use bone-in chicken, but if you are going to use bone-in chicken, go ahead and debone it. I always cut my chicken breast in half. Way it cooks a little bit quicker. Now this recipe, you can also put it in a crock pot, cook it on low for 6 hours, or also in an Instant Pot, which it only takes about 15 minutes to shred the chicken in an Instant Pot. So we are just gonna start tearing our chicken apart, like so. Then we'll transfer it back to our broth. You can use 2 forks or a knife and fork, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to slowly add my shredded chicken back to my pan. And when you're cooking it, I always cook mine on a medium to medium low. And if you don't have celery, that is fine. Then you can also substitute the celery for celery seed. And then you would be using about 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed into your broth instead of celery. Our final piece, we are going to finish shredding. Okay, once all your chicken is shredded, we're gonna go ahead and return it back to the stove. Put it on medium and then put a lid on top of it because you want it to be boiling when we get ready to add our dumplings. Okay, so we have our chicken shredded, back in the pan, back on the stove on medium with the lid on, kind of slightly cracked a little bit because you don't want it to overboil. We need to cook it for about 20 minutes or until it starts boiling. While that is doing its thing, we are going to go ahead and make our dumplings. So for our dumplings, we are going to need 1 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. Add that to a mixing bowl. Then we are going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You don't have to use this brand, but you can also use a Walmart brand or Kroger brand. It works the same. So we're adding 2 teaspoons. Okay, we're going to add 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We're going to use a large whisk and kind of give this a little mix, a little bit. Kind of break up any flour chunks. Okay, now you're going to use 2/3 cup of milk and then a tablespoon of melted butter, which I have resting in the microwave. I would go ahead and add that to your milk. Then we're slowly going to add it to our flour mixture. Pour a little bit in at a time. Okay, we'll go ahead and get this out of the whisk. It will clump up as it forms the dough. You'll need a small cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. Kind of work it a little bit. If it seems a little bit sticky, you can always add a little bit more flour, which it looks like we are going to. Just a little sprinkle. Sure to kind of collect everything that's sitting on the bottom of your bowl. You don't want to work it too much. So that's what we have. So now we are going to take our little tray. We're just going to start pinching a little bit off. Make it kind of like into little round balls. They don't have to be perfect. Flour to your hands to kind of keep the dough from sticking too bad. You don't have to make them really huge. Just remember that they're going to rise. So the bigger you make them, the bigger they're going to turn out once they are cooked. Okay, we're going to check on our chicken to make sure we're boiling, and it looks like we are. Give us a little bit of a stir. Okay, so now we are ready to add our dumplings. We'll just kind of drop them in. So this recipe will make about 16 dumplings. We are going to put the lid back on. We are going to cook them anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Kind of reduce it just a little bit between a low and a medium. And then we will check them to see if they're done. Okay, well, it's been about 10 minutes. So we are gonna go ahead and check our dumplings. You'll need a clean toothpick. We will give these a little bit of a stir real quick. You don't want to cook them too long. All right, so we're going to use a toothpick and we're going to insert it in one of the dumplings. And you want to make sure that it comes out clean. And it looks like our dumplings are good to go. So we're going to reduce this down to low. We're going to add about 1/8 teaspoon of parsley, which is completely optional. It just gives it a little extra flavor. Just kind of sprinkle it around just a little bit. You can also use it when you go to serve them. So we'll let this simmer on low, uncovered, for about a couple minutes. If your dumplings break apart a little bit, it's okay. Just try and be a little gentle, because you don't want them completely broken apart. We'll give that a couple more minutes and then we will remove it from the stove and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we have moved it off the eye that we were using. We're gonna get a bowl and we are gonna scoop some out. That way you can see what this looks like. We'll get a little bit of everything into our bowl. And there you have chicken and dumplings. I want to thank you for watching and tuning in. Please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, let's give this a try before I let you go. A little bit of that chicken and stuff in there. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for watching.